Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Tuesday, the 29th of Zulhijjah, corresponding with the English date, the 18th of July of 1444. Hazrat Wala is speaking about the hal of a person, the spiritual state of a person, that whichever condition a person is in, that is the best condition, and a person is happy regarding that, and it comes from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So true submission, bandagi, and genuine worship of Allah and a high state, spiritual state is this, that you understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be ma'bud hakiki and mu'ti hakiki, that there is none worthy of worship but Allah. He is our genuine creator and deserves to be worshipped, and the genuine bestower and giver is Allah. So whatever comes from His side is only good and only good for us. So Allah Ta'ala make us acquainted with these type of high spiritual states. You know, there's weakness in my eyes also, Hazrat Wala is saying. So nevertheless, he goes on to say that jaise in'am Allah ki taraf, तो इलाम भी अल्लाह ताला की तरफ, दोनों से राजी होना यही बंदगी है. That just like how a person is pleased and happy with in'am, boons, blessings, bounties from the side of Allah, similarly, if unsavory something comes from the side of Allah, difficulty, problem, etc., he should also be happy that it is from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and being happy in both these conditions, that is true bandagi and worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a very high maqam, radiyallahu anhum wa radu an, that Allah ta'ala was pleased with them and they were also pleased with Allah. You know, Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Saheb used to say that sab chal raha hai, everything is going and moving and the world is going on. You know, the kafir is also eating and we are also eating. We are doing all these things, they are also doing all these things. But a mu'min eats and he becomes more subservient to Allah, becomes more obedient to Allah, he becomes more humble in front of Allah. And the kafir, when he eats, he becomes more arrogant, more proud, more rebellious. Okay, let's see. The person who lives for the dunya and what is in the dunya, then that is not the true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The person who is living for that dirham and that dinar and that outfit, that if it is there, he's happy, and if it is not there, then he is displeased with that. So woe be to such a person. You know, there was a great Buzrug, Hazrat Wala is quoting this incident, that a great gem, jewel, diamond was presented to him. He did not become too happy on receiving it, and after some time he loses that same gem. And then what happens here? He does not become too sad with that also. Nevertheless, When he gets it, he says Alhamdulillah. And when he loses it also, he says Alhamdulillah. Now you get different types of people. Somebody asked that, Hazrat, you got it? You said Alhamdulillah. You lost it? You also said Alhamdulillah. He said, yes. I looked at the state of my heart at that time, that how affected am I with this year. I got it. Am I loving for that? Am I a slave of that or a slave of Allah? I lost it. The treasure went. Am I so affected? Am I so grieved by it? Am I loving for that? Am I dying for that? So وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. Amongst man is one who worships Allah like a person who is just on edge. He is unsure, he is unstable and capable of being diverted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala worship by the smallest of doubt. The smallest thing, he worships Allah like a person on edge. He's unsure, he's unstable, and he's capable of being diverted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's worship by the smallest doubt that comes. The smallest doubt that comes deters him, takes him away. So the person who likes to be exposed, so he is then a servant of being exposed, of zuhur. And a person who likes khifa also is the servant of that. But the true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that he is happy in every condition. If Allah ta'ala exposes him and creates popularity and fame for him, the true servant of Allah is that both those conditions are equal for him. If Allah keeps him hidden and nobody knows about him also, he is happy with that. Okay, so Hazrat Maulana is reading the dua, Allahumma barik lana fi asma'ina wa absarina wa qulubina wa azwajina wa dhurriyatina wa tub alayna innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Hazrat Maulana is making this dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Oh Allah, bless us, give us barakat in our hearing, in our ears, in our seeing, in our eyes, in our hearts, in our spouses, in our progeny, and accept our tawbah. وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. What a wonderful and beautiful dua. Now you can see and study this dua. Allah brings sama here first. Hazrat Wala refers to one prominent great alim who would come, but he could not hear, due to which it would bring so much of sorrow and grief to him. He's there, he's present, everything, but he can't hear. So, if the hearing goes, the sukoon of a person comes to an end. If his eyesight goes, his sukoon comes to an end. Similarly, if there is a problem with azwaj, with spouses, and zurriyat and progeny also, his sukoon is then disturbed. I am requesting dua from you, Hazrat Wala is saying. I'm having difficulty in reading. Some days it is about, it's okay, and some days it's not too okay, it's worst. But this is the mashiyat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I have a kitab in front of me and I conduct the majlis like that, I find sukoon in that. Now this kitab that we have here, At-Tanweer fi Isqat al-Tadbir, Al-Iksir fi Ithbat al-Taqdir, we have this kitab there. And we're going to be going on Safar also, if the kitab is with me and I can read, I feel more contented. This silsila and this pattern and program that we have here of the Majlis is continuing. And let me tell you something, that more than anybody else or more than anyone of this or that or the other, I feel it a great fortune for myself and I benefit the most. Otherwise, if you people did not come, I don't sleep that much in the morning, but it could greatly be possibly this way here that I could rest then for another hour. So this year is great benefit for me. So we're speaking about being happy in every condition that comes from the side of Allah. Harche as dost mi rasad nekost. Everything that comes from the side of the grand friend from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's only neck, there's only good in it. Dost ki janib se jo aaye bala, wo hargiz bala nahi, wo hai karam. That difficulty that comes from the side of the friend, from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is no difficulty, it's no calamity. Rather, in essence, in reality, really speaking, that is honor, because we don't even know actually why that's coming, what is happening, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite mercy and His grace knows His grand plan, what He is doing. That is actually a great honor for us. दिया प्याम कुछ ऐसा सुकूत सहरा ने गया भूल गुलिस्ता के सारे अफसाने. The silence and the deadness of solitude and the desert gave such a message, such a deep message, that I forgot about the great lessons of Gulista. People want to go and see Kashmir and this manazir and these scenes and sceneries and sights, etc. Yes, fine, in its place. However, the Buzrugan-e-Deen वसअत दिल के सैर किया करते हैं ए इमदाद, यही बाग अपना, यही मैदान. The pious and the saintly people, their hearts are so vast. They take a stroll, they go for a walk in this heart of theirs. This is their beautiful garden. This is their great sceneries and their great things that they enjoy, like how people get so much of joy and pleasure at looking at this site and that site, etc. They go from one side of their heart and they enjoy this, and they go to the other part of their heart and they enjoy that. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb quoted these ash'ar when he was in Bombay. People back in the day used to go to Bombay and then they would want to go and see, go to the beach there, they wanted to see this manzar or that manzar, etc. So make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah ta'ala keep us on this path. Buzurgo ke tariq par, the path of our Buzurgan-e-Deen. Allah Ta'ala keep safe and sound our a'za, our limbs, our hearing, our seeing, eyes, ears, etc. And more than anything else, qulub, our hearts. Ala, inna lillahi fi ardihi awani. Remember, behold, listen well, that most definitely for Allah in His earth are some utensils, some containers. Ala wahiya al-qulub. Remember, these are the hearts of people. Wa ahabbul awani, and the most beloved of these utensils and these hearts in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are asfaha wa aslabuha wa araqquha, the purest, the firmest, and the most compassionate. The purest from sins, the firmest when it comes to the deen, and the most compassionate when it comes to friends and fellow people. Allah Ta'ala keep us on the path of our Buzurgan-e-Deen, which is actually a complete presentation of Quran and Sunnat. Mudallal, their talimat is from Quran and Sunnat. I used to give, on one occasion, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab came out. Some people were laughing, etc. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab didn't like that. His desire was that a person comes for a spiritual discourse. He's supposed to be affected by the talimat. He's supposed to take some asar and go. That's why he wouldn't even like and could not tolerate even someone talking after the majlis. Nevertheless, some people were talking, and then he would say, how many of the people do really understand what I'm saying? And he would tell and say to our Hazrat Wala that, go and give the khulasa of my majlis to people. Tell them that this is what Maulana, the Hazrat, spoke about in the last 1 hour. Give them that khulasa. So this Master Sahab came on one occasion to meet Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, and he was not there, and I was giving this bayan or majlis. Nevertheless, his impression after that day was so deep, it affected him, that he came and he told Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, he said to him that I thought after you the silsila would come to an end, but now I am convinced that the silsila will not come to an end after hearing what he had passed on to us about your talimat and your teachings. So the silsila here is carrying on. Allah Ta'ala make hifazat of our eyes, strengthen my eyesight. Allah Ta'ala protect us from all type of shurur and fitan, trials, tribulations, evils, etc. Allah bless us with all good and afiyat in every way. Das tariq, das tasawwuf and suluk, which Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab came and brought for us here, Allah Ta'ala keep it in this khandan, naslan ba'da naslin, generation after generation. So Allah Ta'ala keep us all well, all our organs, all our limbs, etc. Allah Ta'ala keep us काम में लगाए रखे, keep us in this work and अपने मर्जियात के मुताबिक according to his pleasure. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.